that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk, the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk, the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk, the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk, the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to another night at the... What's the matter, Ed? What's going on? What happened there?
White man can't dance.
Oh.
Not even cheer dance.
It wasn't dancing. I had something in my teeth. I was trying to get it out.
Okay. That's what it was. Sorry.
I dancing really good in. Right. Yeah, I'm Travis. My vices tonight are some bourbon and some water and some bad language and bad attitude to go with it. Yeah. That sounds very good. What do you got, Ed?
I'm Ed, and my vice tonight is the last little bit of Sonoma Triple Finish Woodford Reserve.
Ooh,
Just
fancy.
little bit.
You ever notice that last little bit in the bottle? You're like, no, that's one drink. No, it's like 3 drinks, but you poured in your glass like it was one, and now you've got like...
I've done that before by mistake, yeah.
And you're like,
on the show.
Yeah, how did that much turn into... God damn it. Let's do the opening toast, and we could talk about whatever. Hey, here's to medical needs and help, and may you never fucking need it.
I'll drink to that.
Okay. So in this episode, and if you listened to the last episode where we covered weight loss, diet, and staying healthy, we couldn't help but talk a little bit about this. So there may have been some foreshadowing from last week's show if you listened to that. And if you haven't, go check it out. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Listen to our shit.
That's right. And share it with whoever needs to hear it. Like your mom. Tell her I said hi. So, Ed, we're going to talk about just the whole medical field from the standpoint of a patient and probably bleed over into medical insurance, which, by the way, I swear mine went up. I was looking at my paycheck. It's pulling out more than the plan originally had said.
I've heard people say that they've had an episode similar to yours, which I'll let you talk about. But and afterwards, it's like a car accident. Their insurance went up.
Right, and my wife Andrea, same exact plan. We picked the same plan. Hers is cheaper than mine now.
Yeah.
And she's like, it doesn't go up. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like car insurance, but you've heard this, huh?
Yeah. Blood pressure, high blood pressure.
Specifically makes the insurance go up?
You're a higher risk.
What the fuck? Do you think it's going to go back down if I'm able to get this under control?
Fuck no, man. They got you now. They ain't going to give... No. You're still a higher risk, you know. They discovered about that .04 black that you had in you, and so more insurance.
0.07.
Oh, excuse me. You're twice as much as Bob. That's right.
The Asian is the 0.04, or maybe it's 0.7. Maybe it's no. I don't fucking remember. I ain't gonna look it up. I don't know. So to catch everybody up, a couple weeks ago, it was pointed out my blood pressure is super fucking high. And it was. I mean, peaking out like 190 over 130, give or take a little bit. Just a little bit. And even in my most relaxed state, like 164 over 124, whatever. So I went to the emergency room, was admitted to the hospital, had a CAT scan.
Well, he came to my house to drink wine first, and then he went to...
And eat fried chicken. You know, so a lot of sodium and booze. Actually, I didn't have that much booze. It was like less than 6 ounces.
Have that much at all. Yeah. You were very good.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big wine guy either, and I feel bad about like I want to like wine, but I'm like, it's not really my thing. But yeah, I went there. I spent a few days there. I had a CAT scan. I was supposed to get an MRI, and we're going to talk about why I didn't. And I had a stress test. And went to see a cardiologist a few days later, once I was out of the hospital. And it all came out to $27,400. Now, for
Insane. That's criminal.
that is low compared to what some people deal with when they go in for a couple days. This is actually like I feel like I got a bargain. It wasn't, 48 or 75,000. Now my insurance did cover a lot of that, most of that. But still, that amount, even my glasses. Do you know how much these glasses cost me, Ed? Did I tell you yet?
No.
$1,100.
What the hell?
Right. And they are trifocals, and they have the anti-scratch stuff, and they get dark in the sun, but even that, I feel like with the insurance covering a lot of the glasses stuff, they went, we can now make more, raise those prices. But back,
And that's the crazy thing about insurance, because if you don't have insurance companies bargain with hospitals and medical facilities. And insurance companies actually get a lower rate than somebody that walks in that doesn't have any insurance. That really kind of boggles my mind a little bit. If I'm poor and can't afford the insurance, you're going to charge me more?
I can explain it. The insurance it's kind of like buying in bulk.
Yeah.
That insurance is like, I'll guarantee these people come to you if you're in network.
Right.
So.
And that boggles my mind there, the
Right.
whole in network. I got fucking insurance. I should be able to go to the doctor anywhere. So.
Right.
That's the way it was way back in the 1900s.
Was it? See, I never got sick back then.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I was sick all the time. So, yeah.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't remember.
A sick child.
I don't remember exceptionally being sick. I remember being sick once or twice, but with this, when I went into that hospital, the emergency room doctor went, I want this test and this test and this test, and here's why. And I went, cool. And by the way, this doctor, Lisa Dodds, I will sing her praises. She dumbed everything down for me. She spoke to me like a human being, but didn't speak over my head and didn't speak down to me either. She was fucking awesome. And she wanted a MRI, CAT scan, and a stress test. I got the CAT scan that night in the emergency room. That's when the floor doctor showed up and went, you're stable. You can get out now. Said it slightly different.
Make room for the next victim.
But I went, what? The other doctor said I need this and this. And this guy just stared at me and I'm like, I came in here because I have a problem. Just because it's stabilized doesn't mean it's gone. Can you go...
You're out of rotation, man.
Yeah, can you go talk to her, find out why she needs me to stay here, and then come back and talk to me again? Now, she was probably a 50-year-old woman. He was probably a 30-year-old guy. And I think...
New generation, yeah.
Right. Well, I think they are so hooked in by the management and the insurance companies, they're afraid to help people. Because in no way do I doubt that I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's just an asshole that wants to see me die in the gutter. But I think
they are under so much pressure. My wife goes to a little Indian country doctor, dots not feathers. Can I say that? Anyway, here in town. And he is a great doctor. He's in his 60s. He's been practicing medicine a very long time. He tries not to put you on medication. He tries other things such as diet and exercise and yada, yada, yada. If that doesn't work, I'm putting you on the medication. Okay. He had his own practice. Himself and two other doctors had their own practice. They have now gone in with the local hospital that has the hospitals here and the clinics here, blah, 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 blah. He is under so much pressure. 20 minutes in and out. That's all they want him to give a patient. And that is 20 minutes from the time the nurse walks the patient into the room. Doesn't matter how much longer it takes him to get into the room. 20 minutes in and out. And he says he stays in trouble all the time with
Huh.
the health, here, because they're like, you're spending too much time with your patient.
That's messed up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Because that's the one big thing I was looking for. I didn't have, for everybody else, I didn't have a primary care physician. Because a few years ago, my doctor left the practice she was at, and then my insurance went away, and I just didn't have a primary care physician. So this year I got new insurance after not having insurance for a few years, and I needed a primary care physician. Which, by the way, the dentist I went to that sent me out because my blood pressure was too high, the office manager happened to be there when they did this. And I mentioned a little bit of my history and that I don't want to just have pills thrown at me, etc. When I called a week later to reschedule that dental appointment, that office manager answered the phone. She went, "Yeah, I was here. I managed this office and the medical office 2 doors down." And by the way, I live in the country, so 2 doors down is like 2/10 of a mile. It's like a 5-minute walk across a lot of grass and, next to it like a 4-lane highway. But she's like, "I have somebody I think you might like. She's more holistic. I mean, she'll give you the meds if you need it, but she's going to look for how to solve the problem." And I'm like, okay,
Excellent.
I'll try it. And by the way, I was almost convinced that I had to go to an old white guy that just didn't put up with your shit. And by the way, Joe, who's in the UK, says, "Hearing all this makes me feel lucky we have the NHS here in the UK." Yeah, there's pros and cons to all the systems everywhere, and none of them are perfect. And if there is one that's perfect, somebody fucking let me know. But I went to this doctor. I was about to look for an old white guy who would just call me on my bullshit and not try to medicate me and wasn't worried about bowing to the pressures of big pharmaceutical where they have to push prescriptions and like your nice Indian doctor that is now under so much I didn't want all that. So when the office manager mentioned this, she's a nurse practitioner, I'm like, okay, let's give it a try. Andrea and I went in there because we're both going to use her. So happy. And she's probably a between 35 and 45 black woman. She made me happy to be in the room with her. She talked to me. She answered my questions. She actually physically touched me. Not inappropriately. I think that cost extra.
Damn.
Right? But it was a delightful visit. And she listened to me. And she understood what I'm saying. And now, I have a ton of trust in this woman.
You said nurse practitioner. I've had a number of friends to tell me their doctor horror stories, and they finally find themselves a nurse practitioner. They love the nurse practitioners a whole lot better than they like the doctor.
You know the last woman I mentioned I went to that threw pills at me before I even stopped talking? She was a nurse practitioner also.
Really?
Because I've heard the same thing from a lot of people that you just said. But what I'm saying is, yeah, it's just a matter of, this is why I mentioned, you mentioned an Indian guy, I mentioned a black woman, I mentioned an old white guy. You just don't know. I haven't found a one demographic that seems to be better than another. It's all very individual, not based on race, age, anything.
But is the nurse practitioner you like connected to one of the big hospitals?
No.
There you go.
And she spent more than 20 minutes in the room. Yeah. Like, we still had to wait 10 minutes for her to get in there. Mm-hmm. But after that, and all the nurses seemed... we were the last customer patient of the day, and everybody seemed so happy to be at that place. It was incredible. Whereas when in the hospital, there was one guy who was running one of the tests. I swear he was just about to cut his own wrists. He was just like sad and depressed and mopey. And maybe that's his personality, or I don't know. And I get people talking as the nurses came in to check my blood pressure in the hospital, to listen to them as I would get them talking about things. Ugh. Because I know they're dealing with stuff too.
Yeah, at
absolutely.
Work. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's rough when you have... Okay, when I talk about politics, I don't think anybody gets into politics because they're a natural asshole and want to fuck people over.
They just become that way.
Yeah. If you're gonna stay in politics and play ball,
All about the money. All
right.
about them Benjamin.
Right. And I feel like that's the same thing with medical professionals. Sure, you know you're going to make a decent living at it, if not a really good living, depending what kind of field you go into. But I think you go in caring about people and wanting to do this thing, but then the system grinds you down. If you don't conform, you will not stay in that position.
You won't stay. You won't make it. And just like in politics, doctors especially, they're trying for the next level.
Right.
Whether it's tenure or this title in the hospital or whatever. And if they don't conform, they're not going to get it.
That's why the ER doctor, Lisa Dodds, like I went to look her up, I'm like, if she's got a private practice, I am so there.
Cool.
She doesn't. I think she is just an ER doc. She's not worried about moving up to administration or hospital director or floor doc. I think she's just there because this is what she does. And because of that, there was a different way to treat me.
Yeah.
So these medical professionals trying to get you out of the door as quick as possible, I feel like they're a symptom of the system.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's where the system has failed, because I mentioned it in the other show with the Blue Cross Blue Shield back in the day. Back in the day, way back in the 1900s, you had insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield. There wasn't any of these different levels or
those are so confusing when you're picking
out of network and all that crazy crap, or permission to go see this specialist. There wasn't any of that. You had insurance, you went to the doctor. If you needed to go see a specialist, you went to the specialist and your insurance company paid for it. We had local hospitals where rich community people had gotten together and built a hospital.
Right.
Now, this day and age, it's a corporation. It's a business, and it's owned by somebody sitting on a board halfway across the country or whatever. And they're there to make money and get their investment back out of the hospital. That's the terrible thing about it. People say, because of that, we can provide better medicine, but the medicine's really worse.
There was somebody that went to Europe, set it up like a week-long vacation. But while they were there, they set up an appointment at a hospital. Went into that hospital in the morning, got a full-body MRI, went and got lunch, came back to the hospital, spoke with 2 or 3 different doctors about 2 or 3 different problems, paid under $1,000 with no insurance, and walked out. And I recently saw a video where a guy thought he broke his ankle, and I just know that people are called Balkans, so that's a lot of Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
But he was driven to the hospital, emergency room, waited a few minutes, was brought back, given an x-ray. It was a really bad sprain. And by the way, it was a really bad sprain, guys. I felt bad for this dude. But yeah, it was wrapped and he was sent on his way. 46 euros. No insurance. 46 euros.
Sure. Yeah.
I got a friend from Belgium. Went down on his motorcycle in Scotland. Broke his shoulder. Not popped it out of the socket. Like, broke his fucking shoulder or arm or whatever. Went to the hospital. Didn't pay a cent. Was fixed up and sent on his way.
Yep. No investors.
Yeah, privatization is supposed to bring a better quality.
Right.
But that quality comes with a price. It also comes with a standardization. If it's privately owned and a corporation, they standardize everything.
Everything.
And because of that, you don't get that quality control. How many people are going to Mexico for gastric bypass surgery now? A lot. Is the answer. A lot. What do we do about that, though? Right?
You be like me, don't go, and then one day you're going to die.
Yeah, I don't actually see you're wrong on that. You look around, you find the one person who you click with, and you take care of yourself. Here's something else. Please, 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 always research everything given to you by any medical professional. They're already told they can spend a limited amount of time with you. They're told to push pharmaceuticals in some cases, not all. But my wife, going through her stuff over the past 10 years, had multiple conditions, and she'd come home with medications that the doctor knew about her other conditions, but they aggravated a previous or separate condition.
Yep.
And it started out where she'd take these meds and be in agonizing pain. And then she'd go Google and go,
Why?
that medicine, it's like never, triple underlined, capitalized, take it with this condition. ChatGPT could be your friend in this. It's a super Google. But after you learn something from it, do double check it and verify it, because it can be wrong. It says it right there on the bottom of the screen every time you type something in. But yeah, even with me, this is what we're going to talk about, the gout.
The gout.
They put me on 5 meds. I came home, took my meds like a good boy, and the next morning I woke up with a very painful foot. Now, if you ever had a foot cramp or a tendon issue in your foot, if this is the foot, it's not in the toes, it's not in the joint of the toe, it's back in the foot. Basically where the first knuckle is, an inch or two into the foot. And it's not a sharp pain, unless if you've ever seen a clarinet reed or an oboe reed. Basically a thin sliver of bamboo about as wide as your pinky nail. Imagine that being jammed down between the bones and just kind of shoved around, and that's what it feels like.
Stop, you're turning me on.
Yeah, I had to go and mention feet. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Well, a quick search found out one of these medications is known for causing gout. So I immediately quit that medication, informed the doctor, did not ask, informed the doctor, who, by the way, agreed with me. And when they put you on a lot of medication, you might not need to be on all this medication. But to get rid of the gout, because it continued even when I stopped the medication, because I gave it like a week, and it still hurt. I'm still walking with a cane or limping on the best of days. I then went and checked all my diet stuff, because certain things will trigger gout.
Mm-hmm.
Like glucose.
Processed food.
Yeah, processed foods, sugars. Sugars, which could be in whiskey, could be in ice cream, whatever. And the beginning of this week, I went, you know what? I worked for the next 3 days in a row. I'm going to stick to my rice, chicken, and vegetable with whatever seasoning mix I want.
Yep.
For 3 days. If I want snacks, I'm eating peanuts, unsalted. I'm eating an apple, a banana, a hard-boiled egg, a pickle, whatever. No ice cream, no potato chips. And after 3 days, the symptoms are 90% gone. There's like minimal pain today, which is this is day 4. And I'm losing weight. So, doctors have a lot of education, and you pay them a lot of money.
But they're only practicing.
Well, you can't keep all that information about all the things in your head all the time. You just can't. So, you're responsible for your own body.
Yep.
Research it. Talk to a medical professional. Get the help. Research it. By the way, I think U.S. is one of the only countries in the world where you're allowed to have prescription medicine advertised on TV. I mean,
What about the Benjamins, brother?
how many commercials do we see with, Oh, by the way, if anybody needs it, any of those medicines you see on TV make great names for wizards or other Dungeons and Dragons characters. Check that shit out. Next time you see one of these med commercials, go, Rimzac. That'd be okay. Actually, that sounds like a tossing a salad thing, but you get an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's check all that out.
Speaking of tossing your salad, had a friend to go to the doctor recently. They diagnosed him with an E. coli infection in his kidneys. And the doctor standing right there in the room with him tells him, you know that's caused by having sex with men.
Okay.
To which he said, I'm not having sex with men, women, or any other species. So that's not it.
Okay. Fun fact. You know how last episode, I mentioned a few people at work were super nice to me and genuinely caring when I had these issues. One of them is a very nice gay man. Fucking adore this dude. He's inappropriate, laughs a lot, a little bitter. I fucking love him. Like, just bonded with it. Just, boom. We were talking about doctors, and he mentioned a lot of times when he goes to a doctor, he automatically feels discriminated against. Like they don't want to touch him, and I'm like, what is this, the 80s? You know, why would somebody, and he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, why would a medical professional say that at all, though? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. You know, I can see the medical professional saying, are you having a lot of anal sex?
Right.
But
because that's another good point. Is it what, only men have E. coli in their butt?
Exactly. You know, that was so like, wow.
Could have been like, have you fucked any goats lately?
Exactly.
Yeah, people suck.
Yeah, people suck.
And after that, I gotta pour another drink because I don't have anything to do a closing toast with.
Me too. I'm gonna have to get. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you pour the 50 ounces that were left in that one bottle into one glass?
I haven't finished that yet, but I need another chaser.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna repeat. Ed's just drinking without the toast. He's like, because this topic.
That's my warm up.
Join us next week, guys, because we're gonna have a much lighter topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to repeat the opening topic. Here's to your health. I hope you never need medical care. And if you do, you get the right person to help you.
And take some responsibility yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's play that outro. We could white man dance to that. Ed, white man dance for me.
Yeah, I can't do that. My rhythm's not that bad.
I will teach you. Come with me, my not-so-young Padawan. Right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, be careful with your shit. And if you want to help keep the lights on in the tavern, because with all this stuff going on, it's difficult, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/TravisISivart, or buy us a drink at coffee.com/TravisISivart. And we'll catch you next time.